to the 30-day Pilates mat challenge for beginners. Today we're going to be tackling a move that is maybe some of you will find a little more challenging than some of the other movements that we've done. I saved it for this portion of the challenge since it is toward the end of the challenge. So as you go on in Pilates mat, these 30 poses that we cover by no means are all of the poses that you're going to experience if you continue on this journey. But it's a really good baseline. It's a really good start. You really have a lot of information to move forward and to be successful taking a Pilates mat class in just what we've done so far. So you really should be proud of yourself. I'm so glad that you've decided to stick with it. Today we are going to be doing the Pilates leg pull down. So this is one we have not yet done a pose where we have started off in a plank position, but today is the day. So flipping around, and you want to line up your wrist creases so that they're parallel to the short end of your mat. Now, when you come up into plank, the mistake that people make in their plank is many people tend to overemphasize the weight distribution to the wrists. So obviously, your wrists are carrying some of the weight here, but you don't want them to be carrying all of the weight. You want to try to distribute the weight. Now in a moment, when we come up to that plank, you're going to see that only your hands and your feet are in contact with the mat. However, you're going to squeeze through your midsection, and you're also going to fire the muscles in your legs, thinking about pressing back through your heels so that this is a whole body pose. Now, it's tempting when you're in plank. Sometimes people will pike their hips. They'll move their shoulders so that they're no longer aligned over their wrists. You want to avoid that. Similarly, sometimes people get a little saggy through the midsection and they start dropping their hips into that hammock-like position that I was just in. If possible, you want to try to avoid all of those at all costs. So, what does that mean? Well, as a beginner, it may be challenging for you to hold in that plank pose for any amount of time. Never mind adding the small movement that we're going to be adding on in a moment. So, if that is you, what you're going to focus on is you're simply going to focus on stepping those feet back and holding that plank for a few breaths. And then, when you've had enough, come back down and rest. Those of you who feel comfortable enough in plank for at least a short duration of time can add on the other movements into this leg pull down. So in the leg pull down, you start off in plank. You lift the right leg up without lifting the hips up. You shift forward, you shift back, you drop it down. Other side. Up, front, back, down. Up, front, back, down. Up, front, back, down. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And drop it down. So, hopefully, or maybe not hopefully, that felt like it was a challenging movement for you. But at this point, you're up for a challenge. Now, could you hold up in the plank and do the leg pull downs that we did? Maybe, maybe not. But hopefully, you're at least feeling comfortable where you can modify the positions, or maybe you can try a couple of them and build up. Speaking of building up, some of you may want to practice that sequence again, taking a little break. The other thing that you may want to do in between the sequences in this one is obviously we've got a lot of extension here at our wrists when we're in a plank pose, and sometimes that's bothersome to people. So if that is bothersome to you, you can just not force, but simply flex your wrist so that you're basically balancing out the movement. You had it in extension and now you're bringing it into flexion. And then you can do the same thing. There are some yoga poses that we do. There is a forward fold with a wrist stretch variation that does this very same movement. If some of you are familiar with it. So if you would like to try that sequence again, feel free. Or remember, you can also return to one of the other movements that we did and you can add it on to your routine today. But either way, thanks so much for joining us, and you're stuck with me for a couple more days. We have just a couple days left in the challenge, so I can't wait to see you. You are almost there. Good job. Bye-bye.